I'm going to start by clipping all of the hair off the face with some no crease clips. These are great when doing makeup, as usually clients will already have their hair done. Now to prime the face, I'm using the HD Micro Primer from Glam. This is going to give us some great hydration and make sure that the skin will have a flawless finish. For priming the eyes, I'm using a really thin coat of concealer, the Morphe Filter Effect Concealer in the colour Medium 12, and a light dusting of Glam translucent powder to get the lid space ready to grab and hold those eyeshadow colours. First colour we're applying all over that brow bone down to the crease is the colour Augmented from the Nikita palette by Morphe. That light cream colour is to start things off and assist with the blend. Using a medium fluffy brush and a light circular motion, really buff that into the skin. Now on the crease in the outer corners, we're going to blend in a slightly darker colour. This is called Shape Shifter, and then once again to help with that gradient, we're also above that blending in a slightly more terracotta colour called Seduction. These colours are really going to help define that contour of the lid space and accentuate the colours it will place on the centre. Making sure to blend all of this, use another clean fluffy brush to go in and blend all those colours together. You don't want to see any lines where the colours are starting or finishing. Think of a rainbow. You don't want to see it in a block like it would be drawn in a cartoon. You want a nice gradient like you see in real life. The brow bone, we place a lighter creamier colour called Nicholas. Cut the crease. I'm using a small flat concealer brush with the MAC Studio Fix 24 Hour Smooth Wear Concealer in the colour NC30. Set your cut crease a little bit lower than you think you want to go. You can always go higher, but you cannot take it off without messing up all of your shadow blending work. Start small. Use flat pressing motions to create that shape and then move up and correct so you get that perfect curve. Now the inner corners of that cut crease, the first colour we're placing down Keep True from the Live With Love palette from Morphe, and in the middle of that lid space a darker bronze called 703 from Nikita's palette again. Now creating that wing with shadow, I'm going to blend in the colour Nasty. Now start lower than you want the wing to be. Use a tightly packed flat shadow brush and press that into the skin. Then use a fluffy brush to blend it upwards. Now the reason you start lower is when you cut along with the makeup wipe through the colour, then you're going to have the perfect gradient with the dark along the line and blend it upwards. Lining the eyes, I'm using a thin liner brush in the Glam HD Definition Cream Pot Liner in black. Now don't do one long line when you line the eyes. Do a series of very small lines, and this is going to stop you from getting wobbly. Now a coating of MAC Stacked Mascara on the upper and lower lashes. Always go lighter on lower lashes. You don't need a lot, just coat them so they get colour, but don't build up too much product, otherwise they have the tendency to look clumpy and spidery. Now with foundation, we're using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation in the colour NC35. I always place this on a palette and emulsify with the MAC Fix Plus Spray in Gold Light. It's going to give her skin a dewy golden undertone and help set that in place. Just for the event, as applied a fake tan, so we wanted to make sure her face and neck matches the rest of her body, so she has a lovely blended sun-kissed look. Under the eyes, we're using a matte concealer, once again in NC30. Remember to apply a small amount of concealer, only a small swipe on the inner corner and then the outer. Then use a beauty sponge to blend all the way underneath. You want to be super light with how much you place under the eyes. If you put too much, it can make it look tired, cakey, or creased. And we also place concealer on her high points, middle of the forehead, under the cheekbones to help define the contour, down the bridge of the nose. Once again, less is more. Now we're setting the base with a couple different powders. The translucent powder by Glam to set this all over, and I'm also using the Maybelline Lasting Fix powder. This has an incredible blurring effect. To contour, we're using a light dabbing of the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the colour NW40. This is going to give a little warmth to the face, and once again, I'm using my MAC Fix Plus to apply this. The Fix Plus will also help dilute the product and enable me to more effectively blend, as this is a darker shade. Really watch the amount of contour you use when attempting this method. It's really easy to apply too much. So go really light-handed around the forehead, under the high points of the cheekbone, under the jawline. And then we're going to brush through those brows, taming those hairs, applying some very thin hairs with a brow pomade, and then brushing through with the Got to Be Glued brush gel. Just thick, beautiful brows. We don't want to apply too much product. We just want to be adding product in any gaps and setting those hairs in place. Now we're going around dusting away the bulk of that translucent powder with a large fluffy brush, just still leaving a little bit under the eyes in case any fallout occurs. Now with the MAC Studio Fix Sculpt and Shape Contour Palette, we are defining those contour points and blending those with the translucent powder. Use a big fluffy brush to blend all of those colours together in that gradient. Now we're going to place on some strip lashes after all of this. If you want to know how to place those correctly and you are a Bella Beauty makeup student, go and watch some of our module videos. We do go into that. Now using a smaller fluffy brush, we're getting rid of some of that translucent translucentness underneath the eyes. And I'm also pressing in lightly before doing this, making sure that's really pressed in because we don't want that to move around. Now, the Pro Face palette in Illuminate by MAC.
This is a really beautiful radiant cream highlighter.
The cheekbones, I'm using a mix of Goldie Lush and Peach Plus. It's a bronze and a peach base highlight to give the cheeks beautiful flush.
Inner corners of the eyes, I'm using the lighter shade in Starry Opal.
Now to blend in some of that tan and make sure it's all even from neck to arms, I'm going with the Sally Hansen Airbrush Legs.
This is going to give her a flawless airbrushed look to her decolletage area, as the dress she's wearing is one-shouldered. So you really want to make sure this area is perfectly as primed as her face, as it's going to be a focal point. On the collarbones, in the muscles along the neck and the tip of the nose, we're just using a fan brush to dust on some metallic powdered bronze highlight. And this is the final look. Doesn't she look absolutely stunning? Like, I mean, she's gorgeous anyway. However, we were so happy with how this look turned out. Please let us know what you think.